Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the season finale of the Legacy Sports Car Series, sponsored by Ledford Construction. Today, for the season finale, we're at the virtual Homestead Miami Speedway road course, where it is going to be quite the race here today to see where things fall for the championship. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East in the booth, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second, as it has been a great season this year. Having a fantastic time calling out what's going out on track, and we're going to see who keeps getting faster as we are right now underway for open qualifying here. Daniel Beauchamp puts down his opening lap, a 1 minute 07.87, putting him on top of provisional pole for the Honda LMP2 drivers. A lot of LMP2 drivers making their way out here today. It's going to be interesting. I believe we might have 6-7 different LMP2 drivers making their way out. If it's your first time joining us here for the Legacy Sports Car Series, first of all, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And where have you been all season? As right now these drivers are out for the 15-minute open qualifying session. And then they will be going out for a 45-minute feature race. Daniel Beauchamp currently on top of pole in the 451 Honda LMP2. We've got a few different drivers out there today. We've got the GT2s, the Daytona prototypes, and the GT1s. Right now, Brown is on top with the Daytona prototypes here today. Carlos Acosta, currently your fastest GT2 driver. And then DJ Weeks Jr. is our fastest GT1 driver so far here today. We're going to take a look at the final points, as again, this is the very last race of the season. Going in tonight, it's Outlaw Racing out front, Pinarchy in second, Team Goon Squad third, Rise Motorsports fourth, Alpha Ravioli fifth in points, and Oblivion Racing sixth in points. And now this is where things are going to get interesting, as I believe historically Nick Terrell should be able to win the LMP2 class tonight, as he is ahead in points of Alex Penn, who will not be making it. We've got Kai Dimrest out on track, he's third in points. Cody Ledford fourth in points. Casey Carrottson fifth for the Honda LMP2 drivers. Andrew Neri sixth in points. Daniel Beauchamp seventh. Finley Fitzsimmons is eighth. And then Jack Worrell is ninth for the Honda LMP2 drivers. As the Daytona prototype drivers, it's still Jumpin' Johnny Eckert on top, followed by Jack Forsey, Ahmed Zinalden, Carol Steele, Connor Brown, Alex Penn, and Devin Scroggins making up the top results for Daytona prototype. GT1, it's going to be DJ Weeks Jr., Jason Conley, Kai Shepard, Maximilian Putrovsky, Charles Boschel, Robert Hill, rounding out the season points. And finally, for the GT2 class, it's going to be Gareth McAllister out front, Mark Proctor second, Andrew Neri third, Carlos Acosta fourth in points. We've got 7 Honda LMP2 drivers out on track, 3 Daytona prototype drivers. So it's good to see things a little bit mixed up here today, as we have sacrificed some more cones and typical Honda LMP2 style. Cones, lap traffic, you name it, none of it is safe when the Honda LMP2s are charging through the field. As now we watch Dimrest, the number 42 machine, go out, see if he can improve his 109.14 for his fastest lap time. Dimrest currently third in class and third overall for qualifying. So we're having a little bit something goofy going on with live time and scoring here today. Not quite sure what that may be. It's almost looking like we're running the wrong overlay, so not entirely sure what's going on there. But we'll get that corrected for you guys at home. Cody Ledford out on track in the number 7. Excuse me, the number 3, currently 6th in qualifying out of our 7 Honda LMP2 drivers. Jumping Johnny Eckert, currently our fastest Daytona prototype out on track. His last time by was our best so far was a 1 minute 12.21. We've got 3 Daytona prototype drivers making their way out here today. Not a lot of time left in qualifying, just about 3.5 minutes left. It's still Daniel Beauchamp on top with a 1 minute 07.72. Now we know he could probably get down to a 107.52 as Beauchamp seems to not be qualifying the way he really wants to today, but finding a little bit of speed later on the run. It's going to be interesting to see how the track develops, how it'll affect things for our finishers here today. Again, we've got 7 different Honda LMP2s out track, 3 Daytona prototypes, 1 GT1, and 2 GT2 drivers. So I think there's going to be great racing all across the board. Now, historically, we've seen a few different incidents really upset things, and early on to a race that really shake things up. The Legacy Sports Car Series, it's been a season of consistency. That is what has allowed guys to win races as well as championships. As going into this final round, pretty much every championship is locked up at this time. As Johnny Eckert absolutely hucks it into turn 1 in the number 90 Daytona prototype. We're going to check on Carlos Steele, the world-famous driver of the Castrol Daytona prototype, right in time. As right as the camera moves to him, he absolutely sends it around. Theo coming to grips with the race car still at Miami. Trying to put down all that raw horsepower of the Daytona prototype to improve his times if possible. With just about a minute left in qualifying, I'm not sure if we're going to see anything really shake up here. Daniel Beauchamp has returned out on track in the 451 machine to try and best his 107.72. I don't know if he's going to have time here to try and improve that lap time. Miami, not one of those tracks known for great lighting around the circuit. It is only the oval that has any sort of lighting. Our competitors here today are going to have to rely on their headlights to try and navigate the road course. Are we going to see Danny Beauchamp improve his lap time here? No, we are not, as he pulls in and goes back to pit lane. Casey Carrington out on track in the number 9 Honda LMP2. Carrington currently qualifying 6th overall, 6th in class. As we get ready for these competitors to wrap up qualifying, it's only Demarest and Thiel, I believe, still out on track at this point. And look at the cone that Thiel is pushing on the racetrack. He's like our own little unicorn. We'll try and get a better shot at that cone. Thiel has pushed a cone around for majority of the racetrack. Quite impressive from the young driver. As we get ready to wrap this session up and send them back out for the 45-minute feature race. And let's take it to tonight's grid as we get ready to get this party started. Starting up front, Daniel Beauchamp in the 451 machine with Nick Stein starting 2nd in the number 71. Kai Demarest, the number 42, will be starting 3rd on tonight's grid. Nick Terrell, the number 81 driver, he'll be starting 4th in the grid. Andrew Neri, the 654, starting 5th. Casey Carrington starting 9th. Cody Ledford starting 7th to round out our Honda LMP2 drivers. Ledford is in the number 3 machine today. Jumping Johnny Eckert, the number 90, will be starting up front for the Daytona prototype drivers, 8th on the grid. with Careless Steele, the number 69, starting 9th. Connor Brown starting 10th, the number 45. Then you've got DJ Weeks Jr., our lone GT1 driver, starting 11th on the grid. Carlos Acosta starting up front for the GT2s, 12th on the grid. They'll round back just one spot where we got Gareth McAllister starting 13th on the grid to round out our field today as we get ready to go racing here at Miami. I've been told by race control we might need to update some paints here as some drivers are running special tribute paints. So we're going to get that going before the race fires off here at Miami. Huh. Nick Stein taking an alternative line through the grass early on. Completely going the wrong way. So tonight, two drivers running special liveries. It'll be Cody Ledford and Johnny Eckert both doing tribute paints for the first responders for September 11th, 2001, paying homage and tribute to those that gave it all to protect their fellow countrymen. So we'll try and get some close up on those cars. Which is surprisingly hard to do when it is absolutely pitch black outside. There's Cody Ledford. Almost getting to the back of traffic, and we'll see if we can get a look at Johnny Eckert, number 90 machine. Eckert running the half and half paint scheme representing first responders. As we're going to get ready to get them started here at Homestead. It's Daniel Beauchamp and Nick Stein, your front row. Demarest and Terrell, your second row. Then Neri Carrington rounding up your third row. That's a whole lot of Honda LMP2s at the front. One of the biggest LMP2 grids we've had all season long. The iRacing safety Porsche is in, and here we go for the season finale. Who will be the first to lift going into turn one? It looks like Daniel Beauchamp has it. As, that looked like there's a little bit of accidents going on back there towards the rear. Not sure if everybody got through that one clear or not. It looks like it's going to be Beauchamp, Stein, Demarest, Carrington. Nick Terrell did fall back just ever so slightly. As that is quite the healthy field of Honda LMP2s. I'm curious to see how this track is going to be for passing here. Oh, around they go. Oh, it's an absolute parking lot. Oh, the humanity. Everyone's bending it. There's cars upside down. They're side by side. What on earth happened? How did this happen? We're going to try and grab an instant replay there because that was spectacularly bad. I know Nick Stein, he was involved. Let's watch Stein. And the number 71, he was second in the Honda LMP2. Does he lose it all on his own or what happens here? Look at that, Stein and Demarest spin in tandem. Demarest goes around. Stein goes around. And then look at that. Cars getting absolutely launched out here. That's Nick Terrell and the 81, the Taco Bell machine gets absolutely launched. Oh my goodness. Who wasn't involved with that? Did anyone get through that safely? Not many is the answer, ladies and gentlemen. As up front, it's Daniel Beauchamp, Casey Carrington, Johnny Eckert. Most of the Honda LMP2 field has wadded it up. We've got 5 LMP2 drivers in pit lane. Nick Stein, Kai Demarest, Andrew Neri, Cody Ledford, Nick Terrell have completely destroyed their machines. Oh my. So Beauchamp will be running up front, I believe, relatively uncontested, as he's got about a 5.5 second lead over Casey Carrington. Johnny Eckert's leading the Daytona prototype drivers. And just like that, Eckert goes off track. Now, I'm not sure if anybody's told these drivers this is a 45-minute race, as it is a full course caution. They said it couldn't be done for the Legacy Series. For the first time this season, they throw a full course caution. I've never seen anything like it, ladies and gentlemen. So an absolute bloodbath here for the season finale. Again, 5 drivers completely wadded up off the beginning. And for the very first time this season, the pace car will roll at Homestead. I've seen this once before in my broadcasting career where the full course caution comes out for a road series. I can't express to our viewers at home how rare this actually is. So race control making the decision to waive the full course caution. Man, I've never seen anything like it. An absolute first here for the Legacy Sports Car Series, where we're going to re-rack them and try and send them back out. But, man, what a night this is. So we're going to try and wait and maybe see if we can hear from race control on what might have happened. I mean, we kind of know what happened. As they're doing waiver rounds. They're going to get the 5 Honda LMP2s back out on the lead lap. This is a first. So we're going to get the guys re-racked. I've got to say, for a season finale, this is several firsts. This is the biggest crash I think we've ever seen. This is the first full course caution we've ever seen. So as our safety crew cleans up the wreckage and the oil strewn across the track here at Miami, we're going to try and get these guys prepared to go back out for battle once more. It'll still be Beauchamp leading the Honda LMP2s. You've still got Carolus Steele, who is now leading the Daytona prototypes. Carlos Acosta leading the GT1s. The GT2s, excuse me. And DJ Week Jr. leading the GT1s. But man, I'm astounded here. So I'm not sure when we're going to get these guys rolling again. But I do know race control is busier than they expected. Pace car is in. Away we go. A single file restart. Now let's keep an eye on here as the rest of the LMP2 drivers are going to have to cut through the field. That is Demarest, who's right behind, I believe that was Connor Brown. And I believe the rest of the field is going to quickly scatter out of the way. Carolus Steele, number 69 driver, pointing in the wrong direction. whips it around. I believe Gareth McAllister may have had a moment as well, as he finds himself parked in an inopportune spot. And look at this battle between, I believe that's going to be Nick Stein and Demarest. The rest of the field absolutely swerving out of the way. Nobody wanting to get punted by any of our LMP2 drivers here today. This is allowing Carrington and Beauchamp to pull away from the field, as Demarest checks way up, and that's going to allow Andrew Neri to get around as well, as here comes Nick Terrell trying to put the pressure on in the Taco Bell back number 81 machine. Up front, it is Casey Carrington in second, Daniel Beauchamp in first. About 2.7 seconds separating the two Honda LMP2 drivers. I'm just astounded at how tonight has went. Are we going to see Nick Stein catch up to Carrington? Right now, Stein is third overall, third in class, after that very rare full course caution. Beauchamp clicks off a 109.92 his last time by. Carrington with a 111.03. And now the guys are starting a little bit faster. Beauchamp with a 108.34. Carrington with a 1 minute 10.64. And then Stein with a 1 minute 8.78. As Stein goes off track, able to hold on to it. That's going to allow Andrew Neri to squeeze up and maybe get a little bit closer to the pod in the number 71 machine. Neri in the 6.54 is getting closer and closer. About 30 minutes left in today's main event. Connor Brown, the Daytona prototype driver, going off track. Up front, Beauchamp clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 8.1. He's about 6/10 faster than the rest of the field as far as the best lap times go. Right now you're watching Nick Terrell trying to chase down Andrew Neri. Terrell in number 81, Neri in the 6.54 machine. This will be the battle for fourth on track overall and for the Honda LMP2s. Terrell getting closer and closer to Neri here. Terrell, very easy to spot in the Taco Bell sponsored race car. Ooh, look at that. Beauchamp gets into the 1 minute 7s once more with a 1 minute 7 second .98 second lap time. Always interesting to see the LMP2 drivers, especially as they get more in a groove out here tonight. Uh-oh, something spells trouble for Demarest as he comes into pit lane to maybe get some repairs done on the number 42 machine. Johnny Eckert, the number 90 Daytona prototype driver, currently a first in class and 7th overall here today. You've also got DJ Weeks Jr., the number 997, our lone GT1 driver out here today. And we're also going to check on Carlos Acosta, the 3Y TV sponsored 104 Ford. He's currently first in class and 9th overall. A newcomer to road racing. Found Legacy Sports Car Series to be the best way for him to jump in head first for multi-class racing with an affordable price. And again, these guys are going to be starting up Season 2 not too long from now. So if you're looking for a series where you can get in on it for relatively inexpensively, a lot of legacy cars that should only cost you about $3 and all very popular tracks, Legacy Sports Car Series will be getting fired up. We'll get you a date on that, as right now we watch your overall race leader, Danny Beauchamp, clicking off lap times about 12.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Season 2 will be starting October 2nd for these drivers. And it'll feature another 12-round season with a whole lot of fun and an affordable price tag to get in on the action. Check them out. We usually link the Discord down below. We've got quite the battle for second place on track. Casey Carrington, he's second overall and second in class for the Honda LMP2 drivers, as he's going to get a little bit of pressure from Nick Stein and the number 71. Stein's going to go down the inside line, down the back banking here at Homestead, going into turn 1. $25 minutes remaining for our competitors, as you're going to ride on board with Casey Carrington, as they're going to squeeze up the inside of Careless Steel. Again, not a big track to make any advances, especially when you're trying to not get stuck behind somebody who may be on a slower class vehicle as yourself. But Carrington is able to get through nice and easy as you watch Nick Stein flashing his high beams at, I believe, lap traffic that may be ahead of him. Or just excited to be here. It's hard to tell with these drivers sometimes. I believe this may be Gareth McAllister that just got passed by the second place of Nick Stein. And it was. Stein and Carrington about 14 seconds back from the overall race leader, Beauchamp. And 24 minutes remaining in tonight's main event. Nick Terrell trying to catch up to Casey Carrington. Terrell involved in that early race incident that brought out the full course caution. He's about 2.4 seconds back, but oh no, Carlos Acosta may have had a moment here. He did. In his forward, he's got to carefully rejoin here as he does not want to pull out in front of the LMP2s, but we'll take a quick look to see what may have happened to Acosta to take him off track aggressively. Oh, just gets the car a little uneasy and then whips it around in the grass. I believe that was Connor Brown that had to avoid him in the Marlboro back Daytona prototype. Nick Terrell, he has Carrington in front of his sights, trying to work his way into podium contention here. Now Terrell, he has won, mathematically, he has won the championship already for the LMP2s, but it is all about bragging rights, and racers are going to race. So let's see, Terrell's getting a little bit closer here to Carrington. We may see a battle shaking up for that podium position. What a night for Honda LMP2 drivers. These guys are obviously the fastest cars out on track, and they like to be driven fast and hard. If you find yourself letting off the gas, you can quickly lose that downforce that makes these machines glued to the track. As Terrell has a bit of a bobble there. He's about 1 second back from Carrington at this time. As Carrington's going to dive into pit lane, that'll allow Terrell to take over that third place spot. Again, we are past the halfway mark, so it will not be uncommon to see drivers take their pits at this time. Their one fuel stop for the evening. Up front, it's still Beauchamp with a 14.8 second advantage over Stein, as he has put about not quite half the field down a lap. Acosta finishes up his one pit stop of the night. That's going to allow McAllister to take over the lead for the GT2 drivers. Cody Ledford is in pit lane for his one pit stop of the night as well. How long is Beauchamp going to stay out for here? It is only 6 drivers still on the lead lap here at Homestead. You're on board with Beauchamp. Your race leader is about to be cut through lap traffic once more. I believe that is going to be Connor Brown just ahead. No, that is going to be Johnny Eckert. Number 9 is the class leader for the Daytona prototypes. Beauchamp is as polite as he is fast. It is very rare you see him flashing those high beams at other drivers. to let them know that a faster car is coming through. He just chooses his lines very carefully and does it the old-fashioned way. But we're going to be quiet and let you listen on board for a lap with Daniel Beauchamp. And that was your fast lap of the day with Daniel Beauchamp. That was what a 1 minute and 8 second lap time looks like here at Homestead from your race leader's point of view, as he is absolutely dicing through traffic. But as you can tell with the onboard, very patient, very polite, not willing to make any big moves that's going to risk his race as well as his competitors. As now Andrew Neri is about to get put a lap down from his teammate Beauchamp. The next big question is, when is Beauchamp going to come into pit lane? He is still not boxed yet, 22 laps in. Right now, it is still Beauchamp leading the LMP2s, Eckert leading a ton of prototypes, Weeks leading the GT1 class, and McAllister leading the GT2s. As we check on McAllister, the number 25 Ford, he's got about a 32-second advantage to Carlos Acosta, the second place driver for the GT2s, but McAllister has not boxed yet this race. It'll be interesting to see how that yellow flag full course caution affects the fuel run of these competitors. But it is a nice change as well to see two Aussies out on track for the Legacy Sports Cars Series. Stein, that last lap by, must have had some sort of problems. He was 6 seconds off of his previous lap time. The second place overall driver may have had some sort of issues there. We didn't see anything pop up on lap time and scoring with possible incidents, so not quite sure what happened to Stein. As, oh no, McAllister, I'm not sure what he did. Maybe missed the shift? Or maybe just taking a alternative line to maybe allow some of the Honda LMP2 drivers by. But man, look at the front rotors glowing in that Ford GT2. Really working the front brakes here. Connor Brown comes in for his one pit stop of the night, the second place Daytona prototype driver, as well as Gareth McAllister. So that should allow Carlos Acosta to take over the race lead for the GT2 class. But it'll be interesting to see where the two competitors are out on track as the fuel window closes off and they get back out there after that one pit stop. The field very spread out here, but we're about to see a battle for second place for the Daytona prototype drivers as Carolus Steele is right on track behind Connor Brown, less than a second back. As Carlos Acosta has taken over the race lead for the GT2 class drivers. He will find himself about 10 or 11 seconds ahead of Gareth McAllister as McAllister comes out of pit lane for his one pit stop of the night. 12 minutes remaining for our competitors. Daniel Beauchamp has come into pit lane on lap 25, so that's going to allow Stein to take over the race lead here today. Now Stein and Terrell still have not pitted yet here today, and Beauchamp's going to come back out on track about 15 seconds behind your race leader, Nick Stein, and about 7 seconds back from Nick Terrell. Uh-oh, we show Kai Demarest is involved in an incident, the number 42 machine, as he backs out of the way. We'll take a quick look and see what happened to Demarest that caused that incident. Just unfortunately went a little bit too deep and found himself way off the racing surface. And again, we touched on it earlier, those Honda LMP2 drivers, not the drivers, excuse me, the cars, can get very upset very quickly if you do not keep that down for us. As Nick Stein, number 71, he will come down pit lane. Nick Terrell opts to stay out. Danny Beauchamp takes over second place once more overall. Now Terrell still has not pitted yet either. Carolus Steele also comes into pit lane for his one pit stop of the night. Terrell's last time by a 1 minute 9.57, about a second off of his fastest lap time of the race. But let's see what he does is he's going to dive into pit lane as well. So that should allow Danny Beauchamp to take over the race lead here and run the majority of the race fairly uncontested as he still has about a 19-second advantage over Nick Stein. Now Stein is coming out on a fresh set of tires as well, so it'll be interesting to see what type of hot laps he can put down. Check on fan favorite Cody Mars Ledford in the number 3 machine, currently 8th overall, and I believe 6th in class. As Demarest has went back to pit road to try and get some repairs done. Demarest may be done for the evening. There's only 8.5 minutes left in tonight's race. As Ledford's going to get the friendly high beam warning from, I believe, Carrington. Carrington 3rd overall, 3rd in class. If it's your first time watching multi-class, the drivers have the ability to flash their high beams and let other drivers know that there is another car coming. We're going to get a final look at what happened to Demarest, the number 42 machine, to see what caused him to retire for the evening. Looks like it's going into turn 1, and oh, that wasn't even close. Oh, that's a lot of damage. We're going to watch that one once more in slow motion because I find it really funny. So Demarest absolutely hucks it going into turn 1. Apex is probably a little bit early. It hits the rumble strips. And the pit out cone. And just zero chance of slowing down in time. And almost like he's still on the gas there. And then absolutely lawn darts turn 1 of the NASCAR Oval. A major hit from Demarest that will retire his car for the evening. We got word from Demarest. The wheel came off of his desk at his sim racing station. Demarest completely lost input on the car, and that's what a real-life mechanical looks like in sim racing. Wadded up car parts and broken dreams everywhere. Up front, it's still Daniel the Dream Destroyer Beauchamp. He's got a 20-second advantage over the second-place LMP2 driver, Nick Stein. We're going to cycle back to Nick Terrell, though. He's only about 0.2 of a second off from Andrew Neri, so this is about to be the battle for 4th for our Honda LMP2 drivers as they both go diving into turn 1 together. Now, lap traffic may be coming into effect, as I believe that's going to be Johnny Eckert in the number 90 machine, that both of these Honda LMP2 drivers are going to have to navigate as quickly as they can. If any other driver gets caught up here, it can really ruin their chances of trying to catch up to Casey Carrington for that podium spot. Carrington is about 5 seconds ahead of Andrew Neri and Nick Terrell. Nick Terrell has got around Neri. Neri hops back in line to see if he can catch a toe and maybe make something happen into turn 1. Gets a little bit too far down on the apron, but who's going to send it into turn 1? As that is such a wild corner for these Honda LMP2 drivers, not lifting, just absolutely licking the stamp and sending it. Now, is Terrell going to find time to catch up to Carrington here? As about 4 seconds separates Terrell from a podium position. Terrell's last time by, a 1 minute 10.2 compared to Neri with a 1 minute 10.48. So both drivers running very similar lap times here today, as Terrell has found a little bit more speed as he was over a second faster than Carrington that last time by. He may be able to catch up to the pilot of the number 9 machine, who is currently 3rd overall. Carrington 3rd in class for the Honda LMP2s as well as 3rd overall. That's a terrible space for Carrington to be spun around. Casey Carrington, Cody Ledford, both involved. Let's see what happens here as it showed Carrington and Ledford both involved in an incident. I'm just not sure if it was the same incident. I don't rightly know here. We'll have to watch and see what happens to Carrington. As no, he dips that front right into the grass and sends his Honda LMP2 careening around. And here comes Cody Ledford as well, who just locks up the brakes to avoid getting into Carrington. So well done for all those drivers able to survive that instance. So that has allowed Nick Terrell to move up into third place overall and in class. Andrew Neri staying glued to him, however. Neri looking to pick up a podium finish as well. Just like that, Nick Terrell has a big off-track moment as well. That's going to allow Carrington to take over third place. As well as Andrew Neri, both involved in that one. Let's take a look and see what just happened. I'm a little confused there. Oh! Oh, was that Neri that got into him? That was. Neri got into Terrell. What an incident. What happened there? So it looks like Neri sent it too deep, got off track, and then went careening across. He locked up the brakes, but Terrell just in a rough spot there. So hopefully no bad blood after that one, and hopefully that Terrell doesn't have too much damage, so he'll still be able to try and catch up to Carrington. But Terrell here is going to drive like a man possessed to try and take over that third place spot once more. Here comes Terrell. And what happened to Beauchamp, your race leader? Did he already disconnect? I guess he did, as we cross the line for the final time here. Nick Terrell doing everything in his power. But he's going to bring it down pit lane, I suppose. No, he is not. He's going to take a bit of a shortcut. So that's going to be Beauchamp, Stein, Carrington, your top three for the Honda LMP2s, but it's going to be Beauchamp leading the LMP2 class. I believe Eckert winning the Daytona Prototype, Weeks winning the Gt1 class, and Acosta winning for the GT2 drivers here today. Nick Terrell driving into his good friend Carrington after a very good race overall. Drivers having a lot of fun again, winding down after the final race of this season. As overall, a great race from all of our competitors. We're going to try and get all of the drivers up into the waiting room for their post-race interviews. As up first, we've got the world-famous Carlos Acosta winning it for the GT2 drivers. Carlos, I know you're a new road racer, but man, how's it feel to be up on the podium here today?
It feels exciting. Let me tell you what, man. This is my favorite track in the whole world. I loved coming to Homestead, so it's a pleasure to show up and be competitive, and more importantly, not really make too many mistakes. I'm beating myself up a little bit for spinning out there in turn two. In the middle of the race, I would have had that bonus point because that was my only incident point there when I spun out. But it's a blast. My question is, where are you talking to me, man? You should talk to the. Oh my goodness, there's a big wreck right here in the start finish line. But you should talk to the. Should talk to the champion there, the of the GT2.
We'll get
bring him up here, man.
We'll get him up here in a moment, Carlos. Now, as a Miami native, did that give you any advantage putting your 3-wide TV backed for GT2 up on the podium, or what made it so so important to win at your home track?
Oh, just the atmosphere, all the people. I got my family out there in the actually next to the start finish line, all the way in those seats with the pitched tents and everything, and they got a blast to see it. I've actually never driven in the road version of Homestead. It's always been oval for me. So it was more of a learning process, and I'll tell you what, I learned a lot, had a blast, and I would definitely race this layout again.
Well, Carlos, always a pleasure talking to you. I know maybe you don't race as much as you do produce, but before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to that's supporting you behind the scenes out here today?
I want to shout out to everybody out here watching tonight. As a producer, it always means my heart to see everybody out there having fun watching all these guys race. And while I have nothing to do with the production value of this, it's always great to see the wonderful shows that you put out and that these drivers put out, and that I, for once, am responsible for putting on a good show since I'm out here driving. I know it wasn't the Gareth and Carlos race like we saw last week for the beginning. I wish that Gareth didn't get involved in that incident early on, but he was gunning me down. Granted, I was saving my tires, but man, Gareth, he got me a little scared there, just a little.
Carlos, always a great time talking to you, man. Hope to see you back for season 2, and good job again out there, my friend.
Thank you so much. At the moment, I plan on coming back, but we'll see if it's going to be part-time or full-time. Tonight, definitely making me lean towards full-time.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. See you next time, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Up next, we've got DJ Weeks Jr., the lone GT1 driver, but more importantly, the season champion. DJ, how are you feeling after tonight's race?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm glad you guys were able to find me. Very lonely out there. I even mowed some yard because I was bored. Just having a good time.
Now, DJ, I know the GT1, the fields weren't the size we were expecting, but were you involved in that lap 1 incident? And if so, how spectacular was it?
No, but it looked very expensive for them P2 guys. I mean, there was crap everywhere. But I was in the back just hanging out. I really had nothing to do today, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to ride back here and not interfere with any racing. But, yeah, that was pretty wild.
Well, what done avoiding the absolute yard sale? Are you going to run the GT1 season next year? Or are you going to run a different car? What's the plans in the future for the number 997?
I don't know if they're doing the GT1s or they're going to do like the GTEs. I know with the Ferrari coming on board, I might switch to that. That's a pretty fun car to drive. I don't want nothing to do with the P2 though, but I like the slower cars. They're just more challenging to me.
Well, DJ, a lot of fun watching you race all season. Again, congratulations on tonight as well as both the championship. Before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to here today?
This Joe put on this league, and you broadcast and my team at Outlaw Racing. Yeah, it's been a good season, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.
Awesome, my friend. Looking forward to talking to you.
All right, bud.
Up next, jumping Johnny Eckert, the number 90 machine, bringing it home in the Daytona Prototypes as well as the championship. Johnny, how are you feeling after tonight, my friend?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I love this track. It's such a fun racetrack, and the layout is just always a blast to run on. And finish out strong. It was an interesting race throughout, but to finish out strong like that was really just really awesome. So I'm pleased. I'm very happy.
Now, Johnny, tell me more about the unique paint scheme you're running tonight on the number 90.
Yeah, so with today being the 20th anniversary of 9/11, I had one half of the car, the driver's side, left side, with the fire department, and the right side being NYPD. And yeah, it kind of piggybacked a little bit off my All-American scheme yesterday with the Twin Towers and the city skyline. So yeah, as a New Yorker, this is a pretty powerful day. It's an emotional day. It's been tough morning. I watched the memorials this morning, and it means a lot to be able to win a race on 9/11. Just kind of I don't know, I guess it just means a little bit more just from being from New York and everything. And you constantly hear stories and of what people experienced through those days. I remember very little because I was pretty young when it happened. But yeah, so to be able to hear those stories and be able to memorialize it a little bit means a lot. So I'm it means a little bit extra today, that's for sure.
Well spoken, Johnny. Well representing your town as well as the entire country, bringing home the win and the championship. Will you be running the Daytona Prototype again next season, or are you going to switch it up on us?
I'm not sure yet. I really enjoyed running the Daytona Prototype. I typically like driving the faster classes, but I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. We'll see. But I'm leaning right now towards staying with the DPs. But it's a fun class, fun little car, and you can really throw it in there. So it's not a whole lot to not like about it. That's for sure. It's a pleasant car to drive, and I don't know. I feel like I'm talking myself into it right now, so probably gonna stick with it.
Well, it's recorded forever now, so now you've put the word out. Now, Johnny, before I let you sign off and go celebrate with the rest of your friends, who do I give a shout out to that's been supporting you tonight as well as all season long?
Well, first off, thank you for putting on these broadcasts every week, and these races have always been a lot of fun to participate in, and the road racing has been, I love road racing, so hopefully there's been some exciting battles throughout the season, that you get to enjoy and show to everybody. But I also want to thank Joe for all he does and putting on this series. He's had it rough back and forth, doing race control 2 nights in a row. So I want to thank him, and yeah, thank DJ Weeks, the Gt1 Class Winner. We constantly pass information back and forth. Even though we're not in the same class, just him telling me things about how what people are doing on track, where they are, how they're driving, things he picks up and sees, be it someone in my class or faster class, and it's always useful information. So I want to thank him for everything he's done this season. And yeah, Outlaw came home with the team's championship, so without him, it wouldn't have been possible at all either. So yeah, definitely thank him too. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it again next season.
Looking forward to it as well, my friend. We hope to see you do well, and thanks again for your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Up next, the man of the hour, Daniel Beauchamp, putting it on the very top spot tonight in the 451 machine. Daniel, how did it go from your point of view, and how fortunate were you to avoid the absolute yard sale on lap 1?
Yeah, I think I was pretty fortunate to avoid that. All of a sudden, there was no one behind me, and feel it pretty clean running from then on out. Pretty easy to stay ahead and stay out of any trouble. Yeah, it was a pretty nice race.
And Dan, I mean, we don't really see full course cautions come out often, if at all, for road racing shenanigans. Is that one of the first ones you've seen, or were you kind of expecting it after seeing a majority of the field get wiped out there?
I expected it after seeing that, but I haven't actually seen it in a road race before, no.
It's a first for me as well, I believe. Now, before I let you sign off, go celebrate with the rest of the team and possibly go to bed, because I know it's late over there in fancy Europe land. Who would you like to give a shout out to that made that 451 machine so fast when you were able to show up? You were the dominant car and seemed like you really put the pressure on him. So who would you like to give a thanks to here today?
I'd like to thank Team Goon Squad, great team, and the guy that runs the series, Joseph Penn. It's really nice what he's put together, and I'm glad he's going ahead with the season 2.
Well, Dan, always a great time talking to my friend. Always well spoken, just as humble as you are fast, and hope to see you up here next season as well.
All right, man. See ya.
And that, my friends, is going to do it for the season finale of the Legacy Sports Car Series. That was quite the race here today. We saw our first full course caution. We saw some new first-time winners, and we saw some championships locked up. As always, on behalf of Legacy Sports Car Series, Ledford Construction, and Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, we'll see you back here hopefully for Season 2, and we thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Have a great night, everyone.